8 surprising things that pilots have to follow when they fly. No time to sleep. When flying overnight or when it's dark outside, the pilot dims the lights. Most people believe that these lights are dimmed so they can get some sleep. However, the lights are actually dimmed as a safety precaution. The reason is if the airplane were to crash, the passengers' eyes would already be adjusted, allowing them to see much better in the dark. While the pilot would love for you to have a nice nap, your safety is a lot more important to them. No sharing food. Pilots cannot share their food with other pilots. Pilots are ordered to eat different meals from their crew members as a safety precaution. This way, if a crew member falls sick, there's a good chance the pilot will not get sick because they had a different meal. If everyone were eating the same food, there would be much bigger problems if all the crew fell ill. For these very reasons, food preparations are taken extremely seriously. It is also ensured that the food is properly cooked and heated when served. Music is not allowed. For most passengers, listening to music is a must when flying, but this is not the case for pilots. This is not just because they don't want to listen to music, but because they simply cannot. Instead of music, pilots will listen to radio communications between ground controllers and airplanes. Music can distract pilots, and flying the plane requires all their focus and attention. Communication between airplanes and ground controllers is much more important than the latest tracks from popular artists. License must be renewed often. The work is only beginning even after a pilot has completed their education, school, hours of experience and has received their license. Even if a pilot is licensed, they are required to renew that license every 6 to 8 months. Once it hits the 8-month mark, pilots are sent to the simulators to renew their license. If they fly a Boeing 777, they must renew their license every 6 months. Pilot licenses have to always be up to date. Pilots and co-pilots are equal. There are always 2 pilots when flying a plane, the main pilot and the co-pilot. Many wonder what the major difference is between the two. They also wonder who has more power and responsibilities than the other. The truth is, the pilot and the co-pilot are equal, and they both have the same amount of responsibilities. The only difference is, the pilot is called the captain, and the co-pilot is called the first officer. As a passenger, it's definitely nice to know that 2 fully capable pilots are flying the plane together. It's crucial to be on time. Nobody likes when their flight is delayed or cancelled, which is why flights must always be on time. This is mainly to ensure that the flights are landing where they have to and are on time. It also ensures that passengers are able to make their connecting flights. The Department of Transportation puts such an incredibly big emphasis on being punctual. So much that they do not allow flights to be delayed even if 20 people on a connecting flight still have to board, but they are running late. Airlines try to board all their passengers as soon and as efficient as possible to avoid being late. Pilots do all the flying. With the concept of autopilot, many people wonder if pilots actually fly the plane. While autopilot does do a lot of flying, the pilot is still extremely important when it comes to actually fly the plane. Autopilot is not used the moment the plane is taking off and landing. With autopilot, there is no constant need for the pilot to be hands-on at all times. However, you can't become a pilot if you think you can only rely on autopilot. Pilots have more power than you can imagine. Since airplanes are several thousands of miles in the air, there really is no airtime law since laws vary from jurisdiction. With no specific rules and laws, pilots are the only ones in charge. Pilots can arrest people and even write an official legal fine. While up in the air, pilots act as the police, and their plane is much like their own jurisdiction. However, it is something that pilots don't usually tell people as they do not want their passengers to know that they hold that kind of power. Becoming a pilot might seem like a dream job, but there's clearly a lot more that goes into it than you can imagine.